Hi guys, this is Matt with Powersports, TractionPowersports.net. Today we're working on our Polaris turbo. Issues that this machine had when it came in was blowing heavy smoke out of the exhaust, runnability issues, wanting to stall all the time. With these, there's a few common issues. Could be head gasket or after doing a diagnostic, this machine ended up having an intercooler issue. Basically, first thing that you got to do whenever you're diagging these is do a compression test, and then from there you're going to open up on the intercooler, which is your intake. Your intercooler sets right here. You would take all the bolts out of it, lift it up, and see if you can see coolant down in there. If you can, you know that you got a bad intercooler. So with that being said, right now we're working on getting the roll bar off. Once we get the roll bar off from the unit, we're going to get the box off. Once we get the box off, we're going to be able to take the intake, get that out of there, and then be able to get the intercooler out, get everything cleaned up. So as we're going, we'll kind of show you walkthrough processes of how we get down to it, how we replace it, how we reassemble it, and bleed the system back out and get you guys back on the trail. Stay tuned. Alright guys, we're still rolling away like a tire. We got the rear roll bar section off on the machine, the rear fascia off on it. So this is kind of what it's going to look like in a tear down step. Got the rear seats out, so right now what we're working on is just getting all of the box bolts out. Then this box is going to come in two separate halves, and then once we get both of these half sections out of here, then we'll bring you back and show you what we're looking at from the top side down on the intake plenum. Alright, so we got the box off on this bad boy. Down here, this is what we're after. So now you guys can get a good clear vision of exactly what we're doing here. Once we get the exhaust, we'll probably loosen this up so that we can get this completely out of the way. We'll get the clamps clamped off, get the hoses out of the way, then we'll pull this up as far as we can. Then we're going to have to get inside this plenum, get this guy completely cleaned out. Once we get this out of here, before we do any cleaning, we will show you how full of coolant this is and exactly what cracks on these, and also what we do to prevent further issues of this ever happening again. We put in a separator up in the very front, which will show you that also while we're rolling. So we'll be back with you once we get that out of here. Alright guys, so we have the exhaust out of our way with the bracket. We already went ahead and pulled the clamps. So you're going to pull your upper and lower hoses on this. Get all of your bolts out. We already had them out when we were doing the diag on it, so we just left them out knowing that we were going to have to replace it. And then you're going to be able to go ahead and just slide this out of here. Make sure you have a pan. So you can see this guy is completely filled with coolant inside of here, and this is your intake plenum. And the reason why they put the intercooler inside of there is to help keep it cool, to prevent them from actually breaking like this. However, because the cooling system on the turbos run the engine and the turbo system, it actually prevents these to get really hot and makes these intercoolers actually crack. And you can actually see the inside of here some of these abrasions and stuff on this. So that's what these things leak when they get really hot. So we're going to get all this stuff cleaned up, get the new cooler on here. Make sure you always put new gaskets. Then right at the bottom here, there's another piece of rubber. These are actually dampeners to prevent vibrating and stuff in the inside. So I always replace them with new ones. You don't have to, but for a couple bucks, you might as well better be safe than sorry. So we'll be back with you once we get her cleaned up, and we'll show you the next step. Thank you. Okay, so we have the plenum all cleaned out. So in the inside, this is what it's supposed to look like, nice and clean. Get your surface ready to install your new gasket wise, and make sure if you look all the way up inside of there, you'll be able to see your valves. Make sure everything is nice and clean all the way up inside of there. And once you get everything back together, make sure you do a compression test again, get your oil changed, and then if everything looks good, go ahead and fire it up, run it, because if you do run this too long, you can cause engine damage where you are going to have to pull the engine and do some work there. But hopefully, fingers crossed, everything goes good, and this guy got a good save of shutting it off right away. So we'll keep you guys tuned as we go further. All right, so we got the machine put back together as far as we can go on the back side right now. We got the exhaust back on, the oil change in the machine. What I'm going to show you guys is up front, our next step. We are actually going to replace the separation tank up front for the coolant. Right now, this is just one big bottle. What you're going to want is a tank itself. It's all aluminum. It is a separator, so each side, the engine and coolant side, is separated. So this way, this will help keep both sides of your system cool. Part number on this kit here is 43002. So we're going to go ahead, this is a direct bolt up. You're going to have your two return lines at the bottom, your main feed lines, and then just a couple bolts. You're going to pull that stuff off. Make sure that you do pre-suck everything out of the tank. So get the coolant out of the tank sucked out, pull the two lower hoses, two uppers, and these few Torx here, which are T27s. Get those pulled, this tank will slide out, the new one will set right into place and bolt right up. We'll be back with you as we continue going. All right, we're back with you after we got the new tank in place. So just like we were talking, you can see here how it's going to separate both sides. So left side is going to be for your engine side, right side is going to be for your turbo side. You see how we have the hoses. We added two drains up top. These don't have to be long, they don't come in the kit, so just get any sort of line. It's heavy duty, high temp, about 8 inches, and then just wrap them straight down. So we got this in, the cooling system bled. I'll show you on the back side for you guys that have a question on how to bleed these. Just fill them up. It's going to be pretty hard, but inside just above the pipe, there's going to be an 8mm bolt, and it's really hard to see from this angle, but you gotta just kind of reach in there and feel it. Crack that loose, and just you'll hear a bunch of air bleed out. Let it go until you start seeing a little bit of coolant. Top it off, close it, fire up the machine, let it run. With this new system in place, it's going to be hard for it to get over 178 degrees. It'll get up about 178. Thermostat open, it'll drop back down to about 172. Really hot climates, elevations, the machine will start running at the operating temp. The higher operating temp where the fan will kick on about the 190 to 205 area, and it'll fluctuate in there. But so yeah, we're going to start wrapping the box, everything back up on this buggy, and get her back to the customer. So if you guys have any questions on procedures or parts, need to order a tank, get with us at Traction Powersports, tractionpowersports.net. We'll be happy to help you guys. Thank you. All right, guys, so we got the machine all wrapped up, ready to go. We'll just go over a few points. Again, make sure that you put a cooler in your buggy. That'll help prevent issues from having to do this job on the back side. Make sure that you just double check all of your coolant lines. Once you get the machine fired up and running, you may end up, you know, smelling a little bit of burnt coolant, things like that. That's going to be residual from inside the exhaust. But do the best that you can to just clean everything up, get the oil changed, new plugs in it, and you know, if everything goes good, you'll end up just like this machine, nice and healthy. So remember guys, stay in the action, call track.